Hi, welcome back to Family and Fit, where we talk fitness and how to integrate it in your busy lifestyle. Today, we'll be discussing another one of the three pillars of fitness. This pillar here is going to be variation. Variation is another one of those just basic general things that is a huge benefit in your fitness goals and your health goals and fat loss and muscle growth and all these different goals that you got. A lot of these pillars here are they're going to be for general things that will assist in no matter what your goal is. It don't even matter if it's fitness. It could be technically it could be cooking. It could be anything. But we're going to target them towards health and fitness. And I wanted to start off by saying that your variation can be assisting. Say, for instance, when you're cooking or trying to lose fat, in the manner of not always eating the same thing. So one, your body's gonna get hooked up on eating the same foods over and over again. Say, for instance, you're eating nothing but cottage cheese and Greek non-fat yogurt, and like these are the only two foods you're eating, and you're just eating these two things. This is a little bit of an exaggeration, but a lot of people, they'll stick to like 3 or 4 meals, and then they don't eat anything else besides that. Like they're eating chicken and broccoli, fish and broccoli, fish and rice. It's just like consistently these same meals over and over and over again. And what'll happen is your body will get, used to consuming these products and can potentially hit plateaus. I think that's a lot of times where people's plateaus come from. It isn't necessarily the calories need to be changed, and I believe in that as well. But so just changing the food variation, that can be a major factor in helping out. I'm mainly wanting to focus on working out for variation, but we're also going to touch on some more of the other variations as well, such as like the caloric deficit, or even a caloric surplus. So it doesn't really matter whether you're trying to gain muscle in a caloric surplus or you're trying to lose fat in a deficit. If you started off at 1,500 calories for your calorie deficit, and you just stuck at 1,500 calories, and your maintenance calories are 2,500. If you just stuck there at 1,500 and just stayed there all the time, for your first weeks, first months, depending on your fat percentage, you'll lose fat, and after a period of time, you'll start to plateau where you don't really notice losses in fat, or it'll just slow down tremendously. Say, for instance, you started losing a pound a week, and then it cut back to pretty much not losing anything. It took 2 to 3 weeks to lose a pound. And I think that's another part of the variation. By not switching it up, by not having days where maybe you eat 1,500 calories and another day you eat 2,000 calories and then 1,500 calories and then maybe even back up to 3,000 calories for like one day a week. And then you could have a day where you eat like just 1,000 calories. My diet is kind of like that. So I'll do like maybe like 3,000 calories for days that I'm lifting, like on my push-pull days. I might do 3,000 calories, but then I'll try to cut it back to more like 2,500 on the days that are my legs and abs, because I kind of use those as more of like a fat loss day, not as much as a gain day, because I'm not really worried about gaining too much leg muscle, and abs kind of just come with doing the work. So I'm going to bring it up to the actual fitness variation. There's a lot of people who will do the same repetitive workouts, and they're not getting anywhere with their workouts. And it does have to do with some of the other pillars like intensity. But if you're not switching up your workout, after a while, no matter what your intensity is, you're going to plateau. If you're not adding in any variation. So say for instance, I could go in every day and I could put 150 pounds of weight on a bench press it out as many reps as I could do. And let's say for instance I do 15 sets of that. I could do that every day and keep going up in reps and keep going up in reps. But after a period of time, you'll start to see a slow progression. It'll be exactly like the fat loss thing, where at first you had initial results that were pretty significant, but then it'll just plateau and it won't want to go anywhere. So whenever I work out, essentially every one of my workouts is different in some sort of way. To me, if you have a workout and you're working out multiple days in a row, I really don't believe in that. multiple days in a row that are of the same workout. I don't believe in staying consistent with a workout plan. I believe in having a workout plan, but my schedule will always vary in the lifts that I do. Like, I may do heavy bench press one day, and then my secondary exercise will be dumbbell press, or maybe I'll do light bench press and then heavy dumbbells, or maybe I just don't do bench press and I just do dumbbells, or maybe I don't do dumbbells and I just do bench press. And this is how I'm able to throw variation. I throw a variation in with the amount of weight that I'm lifting, the amount of reps that I'm doing, the type of combination movements that I'm using, whether it be bench press or the dumbbell press. And then I also change other things. You can change, like, if you're doing bench press, you can change the grip at which you're holding the bar. You can go out wider, you can come in closer. If you're doing dumbbells, you can change your hand position to here and press out this direction. Just all these different variations, especially with muscles such as the back, because there are so many different back muscles that it is harder to target all of them with one exercise. Whereas bench press, essentially the entire chest with a flat bench gets hit for the most part. It may not get hit to the maximum of its ability, but it's still going to get hit. Where there are, exercises within the back workout that you can do that will not even affect other muscles hardly at all in the back. And this is what I would call major variation. Major variation is having or doing an exercise that is so different that it causes an entire group of muscles to work out. For example, on back day, what I would call a major variation would be doing pull downs. That'd be one of the major variations, versus pulling up from the ground up. And those would be two of your major variations. The third variation would be pulling in, just inward. And the reason why those are considered a major variation is because from pulling from the sky to the ground, you're activating your lats, and your mid back. There are other assister muscles that are going to be activated within the workout, but not as much, if at all. And then, so say for instance, if you're pulling from the ground, you're going to get a lot of shoulder work, you're going to get a lot of trap work, you're going to get a lot of upper back work, and then you're going to get the best mix by just pulling in with a row, but there's still a significant difference. You're not going to be able to hit the lats as well, you're not going to be able to hit the traps as well, not without really having a good mind-muscle connection. Then you'll have a minor variation. Minor variation will be, say for instance, we use the row exercise for this example. So the row exercise, you're pulling in like this, okay? Now, for the minor variation, it may be the same row movement, but this time you put your hand grips out wide. Maybe you turn your hands this way, using different bars. Maybe something that's got a Z grip where it turns your wrist a little bit, or pull inward with your palms up. These different variations here will not do as much as the major variations as far as like activating different muscles, but I think it will activate different muscle fibers a little bit better So say for instance, by turning your palms up, it's going to cause it to target the bicep fibers a little bit different, along with the back too, because as you can see, as you turn from your palm facing down and turn it up, you can see the shoulder turning around. And by doing that, you're causing the way that the muscle fibers are connected to your skeletal structure to pull in. It's causing them to contract in a different manner, along with your biceps. And then if you're doing the lift with your hands in this position, it's going to be targeting your brachialis a little bit more, which is the muscle that's buried underneath your biceps and kind of under your triceps a little bit back in here. But these minor variations are still very important. You might hit forearms a little bit better and hit just different muscle fibers. They're going to get broke down a little bit better in a little bit different way. And these minor variations are just almost as significant as doing the major variations, because it's going to help you prevent from the plateau. That's the main thing you're trying to get around, is the plateau effect. And there's plateau effects that are not even noticed until you actually plateau. So when you're lifting, you may take a month before you notice that you're not growing anymore. You're like, wow, I've been lifting the same weight and I haven't went up this past month. What's going on? So by switching it up, I don't think you'll ever get to a plateau. I don't think that there will ever be a time where you necessarily need to change your schedule, even though that's another form of variation that I can definitely agree with. I feel that I will never need to change my workout routine and workout schedule, just due to the fact that every workout is so different from one another. And there's even things that could change, like working out in the morning versus working out at night. Those variations. Just because maybe you work a laborious day at work, your job's a laborious job, and by the time you get to the gym in the evening, say for instance your muscles are already wore out in a way that you can't perform lifts as good as you could, say for instance in the morning. So by doing that two variations of working out 2 different times a day, that's right there could be another significant variation. Or if you just have a desk job and you have mental wear and you do a lot of thinking, for instance, like I do programming, I also do like millwright, like industrial contract work. So, I get both the mental exhaustion and the physical exhaustion sometimes. And I see how that plays effect in your lifts. So, say for instance in the mornings, maybe you're not even awake as much as you would be during the evening. If you're not exhausted or you're not having a long day, in the morning you may not be pumped up as much, or in the evening you might be wore out from work. So there's these different variations that by switching when your workout is, you can find a way to maximize. And just switching it up freshens things up. It keeps it new. It keeps it vibrant and going to the gym fun. That's the main thing I like about like my intensity with my hybrid workouts and my variation. So my hybrid workouts are part of my variation as well. It's a way to change things by lifting heavier weights and less reps, and by lifting more reps and less weight, and just switching this up. And sometimes it's not as simple as, okay, this is going to be a heavy day and tomorrow is going to be a light day. I might go, okay, well look, for these first 10 sets I'm going to do, I won't do over 3 reps. So 3 reps, I'll stop. 3 reps, I'll stop. And I'll keep going up 10, 20 pounds every time until I hit my maximum weight. Try to hit out a couple more sets at that weight, and then maybe I'll pyramid back down. And then after I pyramid back down to a certain weight, or maybe I'll just drop all the way down to, half of what I was lifting as my max, and I'll rep out 12 reps of that. And I'm able to implement different variation in that manner as well. So just add variation to your workout. Make sure you're following along with some of the other tips, like the intensity. I think these pillars here are some major factors in helping you not plateau, helping you get maximum gains, helping you get maximum amount of fat loss. Just all around, I think these are hands down like the best tips I can give. And as of right now, I'm kind of giving general tips until I start getting more requests for maybe some specific things like a back workout or chest workout or things along those lines. I'm gonna help give general information. That way, it's kind of can target a broad audience. It can target people who have lifted for longer periods of time. It can target people who have lifted for shorter periods of time. And yeah, so I definitely believe that these tips are going to help. This is only my first year of working out. I've educated myself for long periods of time while I was in school prior to lifting. So when I went in, I hit the ground running. It was like a racehorse, and the gates opening for me. I was ready to go. I'm working out just as hard now as I was when I very first started working out. The only difference was I hated myself every morning the next morning for being so sore. But yeah, just follow along if you like what you see. Follow along if these things are helping you out, and let me know if they're helping you out. I would like to see some people who have plateaued try to utilize some of these tips from the 3 pillars, and let me know that this stuff is helping them to overcome their plateau. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.